Shotgun red, I made a name for myself. Can't lie, I'm doing well for my age. My dogs said they're praying on my downfall. Well, they just choose in the casket, now they souls in the grave. I'm a star right.
I want people to understand that there's so much to life, whether you're the CEO or the janitor.
Giving everything you do at 150% will change your mindset and your perception of what you're doing.
Oh, you wanna know me? Well, I'm the man that you knew. Now you know.
All right, well, welcome to the Hour Never Podcast, all things entrepreneurship. People who just take life and kick it square in the ass. People who make their passion their paycheck. And I get to bring family in today, which is so freaking awesome. So introduce yourselves. Tell our listeners all about you guys.
Yeah, you better go first.
We are Erin and Dusty Stanczyk, and Tim is my cousin.
Yes.
Favorite cousin. So, favorite.
My
Yeah, throw it in there.
dad, his mom, brother, and sister.
Yeah.
And we are the creators of EatMoveRest.
Yes. Yeah, so we, should we just dive into how we got started?
It's just, I went and looked up your social the other day.
Yeah.
And you guys have been building for, how many years have you been doing this now? EatMoveRest?
4?
I think 6, but the YouTube portion of it, which has really taken off recently, has been probably more.
Yeah, you have like 91,000 or 95,000.
We just hit 100K.
You hit 1,000. Oh my God, that's awesome.
On the way
Hey.
up here, we were Google searching, when do we get that plaque? You're supposed to get like a YouTube plaque when you hit 100K.
Yep.
So.
And we were all geeking out like 3 months ago. We'd only doing it for like 6 months. We're like, hey, we're monetized.
Right.
I'm gonna get paid.
Yeah.
$1.16.
I know.
I'm like, look at that buck. I'm like, I'm giving high quality shit out here. They should raise my rate.
Oh,
but,
man, if they only knew what all these, like, we were talking about the equipment before we started. If YouTube only knew what all this costs, which I'm sure they do, they don't pay enough.
Yeah.
Not even close.
And we would literally go week to week and like send the latest YouTube, be like, hey mom, check this out.
Yep.
It's like both
Yep.
the moms, both the siblings, and that was our audience for like the first few months.
Well, see, I got it set up pretty easy because I have 7 locations that have to watch my YouTube channel.
Right.
So Aaron's like, it's up. Log into your account, give it a thumbs up, and watch that for at least 30 seconds.
Let
Let it play through. And so,
Don't skip those ads.
like John, because I was talking to John Meadows, we had him as a guest on, and he's international bodybuilding sensation. He's got more YouTube videos than any bodybuilder in history. He's just it's like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood meets bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I think he has over 2,000 videos online.
Oh my
He's
gosh.
hundreds
He's
and
got
and
tons
millions
of content.
upon millions
Yeah.
watched. I mean, it's just insane. Every video is at least 500,000 views.
Right.
So he was on our podcast. I'm like, hey, could you share this on your channel? That'd be great. But he said the same thing when he first started. Like, you got every TV in the house, put it on the channel before you go to work, and just let it roll, just so you get those watch hours. And it's nuts. So, what inspired you guys to start this?
I think it was just our own personal journeys. So like, if we take it back to college, I think that's kind of when we both derailed, so to speak. So I went from, my mom making every meal for me at home, and she was making us really healthy meals because we were high school athletes, get to college, not in sports anymore, have all the freedom in the world, no curfew. So I don't know how to cook because I showed no interest in learning in the kitchen with mom. So it was literally beef jerky and milk in my mini fridge in my dorm room.
Easy Mac.
Yeah,
probably.
Easy Mac and ramen noodles. And that was my diet.
Yeah.
Solid diet.
Yeah, for sure. Like anything that took 2 minutes or less to make.
Yeah.
And I think it just caught up with me over time because, I was going out partying on the weekends and not working out, not staying active anymore. And at a certain point, I started to have my first bouts of anxiety, panic attacks, just like feelings of stress and depression, and being confused. But in hindsight, I'm like, why would I expect to feel good when I wasn't doing myself any favors?
Yeah.
So a little bit down the road, Dusty and I got together towards the end of college, and he was really into cycling, and I had always wanted to be into it, so he talked me into buying a way too expensive bike. And that became like our favorite thing to do, but we were still definitely going out on the weekends and misbehaving. So it was kind of like this. We'd try to reverse the damage. It'd be like Thursday through Sunday was just like party.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. By Wednesday, you start to feel good again, but then you go back into the cycle again.
Right.
So we're like, okay, we can't just be exercising. There's got to be more to it. This alcohol, the food, bellying up to the bar with like the pizza and the tall wheat beers every single weekend. It's like, it's not working. We're not doing ourselves any favors.
Right.
So.
Well, and I was just going to say, the only thing I would have added to that diet was the beer. For whatever reason, we joined like the old Chicago beer tour.
Yeah, we both had we get like a pin in the mail or whatever.
And so we were like, okay, we need to get healthier. We were going on long rides, runs, always still going to the gym. And they always say you can't out-train a bad diet. And it's true. We were trying. We felt like we looked good on the outside, but we both felt like crap on the inside.
Yeah. Well, I've always said that I think it's 75% diet.
Oh, totally.
It absolutely. I mean, they say the abs are made in the kitchen. That's 1,000% true.
100%.
And the older you get, fair warning, the worse it is.
We're realizing that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're realizing that. And especially Erin, she's like, I didn't think I was going to have any issues after having a kid. And she's like, my abs are gone. And it's
I'm like, I think there's abs there, but they're like under this stretched out skin now.
But yeah, so we're like, we're kicking our own butts, working out, and just feeling like crap. In fact, to the point, I was on 2 different medications for, you guys have a doctor of families, so I'm talking to Grandpa and your dad and everybody, what can I do to fix my gut issues, acid reflux, indigestion, just everything was a mess. And so I'm on 2 different medications for reflux, and we're like, 24, 25 years old, and we're like, this isn't right. Erin's going to
And being so physically active, we became super interested in getting our blood work done. We're like, this should be doing something for us, right? And my cholesterol was ridiculously high. And, the girls at the clinic saying, well, you might want to get on medication. Your mom's is high, your dad's is high. It's hereditary. So I'm like, well, how long do I need to take it? And she's like, probably forever. Like it was just kind of like a given. And that really shocked me and it frustrated me because I'm like, there's got to be more that I can do for myself. And so it kind of pissed me off because I don't know, I wasn't feeling good, and going back to like the panic attacks, the anxiety, like it began to really snowball to the point where like I was losing sleep. I'm like, I'm going to scare this guy off because there's,
Yeah, you should have. I'm not sure why. I'm still here because it was bad for a while.
Convinced I had a rare lung disease, multiple sclerosis, and of course all of this was coming from Google. Dr. Google.
Exactly.
My best friend and my worst enemy because it's like, okay, you are going to die. It's just like my cholesterol's high. I'm gonna die. I have all these diseases, that I've self-diagnosed. I began seeing specialists. So I had like a nerve conduction study. I can't even honestly tell you what that was for to this day. MRIs, CT scans. We even on a vacation to San Diego. I'm super embarrassed to say
I was going to say you have to tell
panic attack about an hour before we're landing. And, all of the symptoms were there. The numbness, the tingling, couldn't breathe, all this stuff. And again, I had myself convinced it was my flare-up of whatever disease I had. They had to land the plane 30 minutes early. I was met by an ambulance at the airport. Dusty had to figure out which hospital they took me to.
Yeah, it was a mess.
This
was even pre
hours
iPhone
upon
GPS.
Hours.
This was 12 years ago. And so I'm like trying to rent a car, figuring out where my girlfriend is in this we were in San Diego, and it's like, okay, what the hell am I going to do? But anyway, that's when it came to a head. That's when we were like, okay, something's got to change. So I had, of course,
my big Ziploc full of pills and supplements and things I was doing to try and stay healthy or like normalize my sanity and my physical symptoms. I just like, I got to get rid of all of it. The hormonal birth control, the this, the that, just get rid of it. And I just I'm like, I got to go clean slate with it, get back to the basics. And that's kind of where the whole idea started to come in because it really started to change pretty quickly. Got my blood work done after cutting a bunch of crap out of my diet. Cholesterol was totally normal, which was super shocking in just a few months. Having, what these plant-based physicians would call, you're in the heart attack proof range. So that was super empowering.
Especially when your dad, your grandpa, your uncles all have heart disease.
Then, all of these physical symptoms starting to diminish, and then the panic attacks, the anxiety kind of subsiding too. So it's like, I don't know which came first, but there was definitely both, playing a part. But they both started to reel back and reverse. And so, it was just getting back to the basics.
Yeah. We decided, Erin graduated, we both went to UNL here in Lincoln, and I got my undergrad in communication studies. I always wanted to be some kind of coach or counselor. I thought I was going to be a therapist of some kind. And Erin got hers in biology, originally thinking that she was going to go to med school. Yeah. And we were like, how can we combine these and help educate people? Yeah. So we started doing this lifestyle medicine coaching certification conferences all over the nation. It was kind of fun. We took a bunch of trips to Vegas, and again, still we're partying. It was funny. We were in these rooms with mostly retired or ex-doctors who were fed up with their practice, and we were always the youngest. And one time we walked into like our last module, and they looked at us and they're like, "You guys went out last night." We're like, we had to go out. Yeah. But anyway, so we did that for years, and we got these certifications. And Erin started the blog, and we started sharing recipes, and we started slowly moving to this, at least for me, it was very slow, move towards a plant-based diet. And
back to the conferences we were attending, you know, it's all, the presenters were all researchers, scientists, physicians, and where they weren't pushing like a vegan diet or a plant-based diet, they predominantly were saying, hey, you got to eat your fresh fruits, your fresh veggies. Right. These are, food can actually be used as medicine. Yeah. And I don't know why that seemed like such a aha thing. Like it should be obvious, right? But so many people are in the dark about that, including us at the time. But we really started to move more and more towards like, okay, what can we eliminate now? What do we not need? What are we not craving? You know, and slowly, like, you know, we just never went cold turkey. We just
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's good for the people to hear that, because I had the same thing. Like my college diet was a steady amount of Budweiser, extra calories, going to put foot weight on for football, Tums and McChickens from McDonald's, because I worked there and I stole them.
Totally.
And that was it, you know. But I played 2 sports in college, so I walked around at 7% body fat. Nobody noticed, you know. And then I got hurt trying out in the NFL, and then I went to work. Yeah. And I was 28. I had 6 ulcers burst. Oh, man. And then a stress test at Heart Institute. And like 7 or 8 medications. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And that still didn't get me. Yeah. It's when I first got Facebook. Yeah. And somebody put up a picture of my 10-year high school reunion.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, who's that? Yeah. Son of a bitch who looks like me but ate me. That's 345 pounds.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. Yeah. And it was just one of those moments, you know, where I'm like, okay, and I dropped probably 80 pounds and all the meds went away. Yeah. And then, you know, I started Rexius Nutrition, which was my business plan in college, which I got a D on. Yeah. I still expect a refund Wayne State College. Anyways, and we started it, and, you know, I was just so passionate about it. And but I also wasn't, you know, I was 29. And then, you know, I started working out a lot more, being smarter and getting more in the science of the things. My background's biomechanical engineering, so I understand that's where my master's in, so I understand the chemistry aspect of it. But I'm like, I'm going to science the shit out of this, because I can't do a lot of things I used to do. And I used to just, I would, when I was younger, outwork a bad diet, because I was 20. Right. Yeah. 30. A couple kids. Yeah. And then, you know, Brittany and I met, and I was 33. And so she was competing in shows. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, that's way too much work. I don't need to actually have abs. You just need to make you think I have abs on a t-shirt. Right. Well, then, you know, that's good. Smoke and mirrors, get on my shirt's a little baggy. And I'm like, okay, we're going to do this. And then we got into the real science aspect of it. And that's when we're like, okay, I'm going to eat more organic. I don't want the herbicides. I don't want the pesticides. I don't want the preservatives, because they were messing with me horribly bad. Totally. And blood work, the great equalizers, I call it, which we get religiously. Yeah. Bodybuilders get blood work minimally once a month. Wow. Full CBC with differential.
I would love that.
Oh yeah. I would hate that because she would be a freak about it. But
I'd put on my glasses and go through all the numbers and compare.
Well, so the thing is that we were finding out because we had overtrained. Yeah. We were training. Sometimes my one coach had me doing 3 hours of cardio, over 2.5 hours of cardio a day, along an hour and a half of training at 1,800 calories. Jeez, so I ended with metabolic damage and had to reverse. We were learning at the time. She ended up getting rhabdo, which basically could kill you from overtraining. So we're like, okay. So now our age has to play a portion in it. Yeah. And we started doing more blood work and just finding out. And then, like for me, I found out foods that work well for me. And of course, some of the doctors. Yeah. Well, that's going to raise your cholesterol. I go, I bet you $100 it doesn't. Yeah. It's in food. Yeah. It's omega-3s. And he goes, cool. Dropped my cholesterol, my LDL 91 points in 1 month.
Oh, yeah, wow. It's ridiculous.
It is. If you use food as power, that's just it. And if you ask any IFBB pro bodybuilder, these are people who take their physique to the absolute extreme. Yeah. Genetic phenoms, don't get me wrong, but it's they'll tell you right now, for them, it's 85% diet.
Right.
It is absolutely. It's not the training. It's not the drugs, contrary to popular belief. It's not. You cannot steroid or inject yourself past that cheeseburger. Right. And I love cheeseburgers and I love beer. But also, I think bodybuilding allowed us to really, well, for us in bodybuilding, it's the cheat meal, the free, like, but it's like, when'd you do the last cheat meal? I'm like, I don't know, like a month and a half ago. Right. That's it. I go, it's fuel for me. Right, it's sustenance. It's, and now we're turning 40, we're going to compete again because I'm not aging gracefully. Pardon my language, but fuck that shit. Yeah. So I can't get rid of the gray hair, but I can get the abs back. So I think I'm down 32 already. Yeah. And she's got metabolism, so I don't, she doesn't count.
Well, and like for women, especially though with diet, I mean, with all the hormones and then birth controls. And when for me, I was on birth control after birth control after birth control. You don't really know what that does to your body when you're young. You just do it.
Right. Yeah.
And now, I mean, even up until even after I had Roman, I went back on an IUD and something was just not right this last time. And we went and got blood work and my blood work was all over the place. And they want to put me on progesterone. They want to do all these different things until I go into menopause in 15 years. And I'm like, no. Like, I don't want, I'm not a medicine person.
We had gone into some of these clinics and, I have backgrounds in chemistry and they're like, well, we're going to put you in a low dose testosterone because your testosterone's low. And I'm like, no, you're not. Yeah. She's like, Certs will boost it. I go, I'm sorry. Where did you get your medical degree? Yeah. Correspondence school through the mail? No. If you put synthetic, it shuts it down permanently. Well, that's not true. Oh, I'll bet you $1,000 it is, kid. Yeah. I'm not paying for this appointment either. They go, okay. And I left. They didn't ask us back. But it's just idiocracy when people just really don't understand foods and they really don't understand hormones. Yeah. And it's like for us, obviously being in the industry, it's like everyday talk. Right. But for the average person, they just have no idea.
It's so scary. And how many people are just doing it?
Oh yeah,
because they have no idea. They just want to feel better.
I got to work a store. I got to work a store today. Self-employment 101. Somebody called in sick.
For most people, it's like it's too much work to go in and do your own research or figure out the truth. We're truth seekers, but most people just want to show up at a doctor and be given something to fix their problems.
Right. Or just trust where the source is coming from.
That was one of our beloved uncles after a heart stress test and suggested I go on Cristor for life. Yeah. That ain't happening. Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to do this with diet. He goes, okay, I'll give it. I'm sure shit. Like I ended up getting a standard plus preferred rate on my life insurance 3 months later, which is the highest rate you can get. Yeah. And I was registering about 4% body fat after my last show. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not taking that shit. Right. Yeah. I just don't. Because my dad. Yeah. He knows the bill. Yeah. Love him. He's not watching this. Yeah. He has every side effect to every single medication that has ever existed. Right. If they have it on the back of the bottle, it's because Billy got it. Yeah. And I'm not doing it. I mean, I know he's my stepdad, but I think I get shit through osmosis. I'm not getting that. And so Craig.
Oh, I was just going to say, how about Craig?
You already know. You already have. You know what's going to happen the next 40 years, bro. Yeah. The mystery's gone. So you take care of diet, but it's amazing. Like Mo Lee's doing the same thing right now. Get back into training. And I think training helps because it gives me a reason to focus on the diet. And that's what I said, for me, like if I feel like I'm feeding my muscles and I have that mind connection with food, I feel like I'm feeding my muscles all day and it's easier for me to stay on plan. So that's why I try to stay physically active every single day. It's my stress reliever. I mean, my gym is my church. That's sorry, Pastor Jesse. I like my church though. But so then you guys start blogging and you start doing where did the video come in play?
We were kind of soul seeking, we're like, oh, let's start our own website. So we each had ErinStanczyk.com, DustinStanczyk.com to kind of like, you want a place to just like put whatever out there that you want to put out there. And kind of, we were trying to find ourselves.
We didn't really know. My website was this contracting. My parents are real estate people. I was like, I'm going to build homes and design homes and do all these things. So we had this totally separate thing. And Erin's was going way better. Well,
I had also purchased the domain name EatMoveRest because in the back of my mind I was thinking, what did I do? What am I doing? It's like I said, getting back to the basics, the 3 things we all do every day that we could all be doing better. Eat, move, and rest. So I'm like, I'm just going to buy the domain and have both go to the same place. Yeah. And before you knew it, I quit telling people ErinStanczyk.com because who can spell it?
Right.
Martin was much easier before I got married. But so I'm like, EatMoveRest.com it is. And, girlfriends saying, hey, what was that smoothie recipe that you posted on your Instagram? Yep. I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to blog about it. So it's just a place for people to go. And we were listening to one of our favorite podcasters, or our very favorite, Rich Roll.
Yep.
He's a vegan triathlete.
Ultraman,
he had said
super
that
cool guy.
It was 5 years ago. He had said, my goal for the year is video. I'm going to take my podcast to video. I'm going to start making videos for you guys. And I'm like, I like that goal.
Yeah.
It scares the crap out of me. So that's why we got to do it.
Right.
Like, you know, I just feel like I can really eloquently say things if I write them out. And I can really articulate my thoughts. And I'm not so great at it on camera. That just terrifies me. But I really want to be able to connect with our audience. And where am I going for information and recipes and ideas? I'm going to YouTube. So I'm like, we got to get on there, even though it just scares the crap out of us.
Yeah, and it was in response to the messages we were getting. You know, I had buddies who, you know, was eating his Cheerios in college because they were good for his heart, because he had a history of heart disease as well.
Which his doctor had suggested.
Which his doctor suggested because, you know,
it's on the box. It's on the box.
And I remember drinking my beer for breakfast, looking at him eating his Cheerios, being like, "You're a fucking idiot!" Like, seriously. But anyway, he texted me one day and was like, "Hey man, what's that green smoothie recipe? You know, like, I see what you guys are doing. I see how fit you look. I see how I'm gaining. You're getting sculpted, and I want that green smoothie recipe." And I'm like,
and
no way.
And the funny thing is, we had been posting everything on Facebook and feeling so frustrated. Like, nobody likes it. Nobody. I don't know if they're not seeing it, or if they're just embarrassed to like it, or if they don't like it. But then slowly, sure enough, like the text would come like under the radar from our friends who are finally having kids, finally experiencing weight gain and hormone issues and all this stuff. And
and so we're like, okay, people are wanting to know. And they're too afraid to message us on Facebook. So so we're getting these texts and we're like, oh, let's just start making videos, doing recipes and whatever else.
It's the easiest way to teach people.
Oh, absolutely.
Monkey see, monkey do. Yeah. So like some of the most popular videos out there right now are these what I eat in a day videos. And you just take people through a day in the life. And it gets ridiculous amounts of engagement. People start commenting. You get conversations going. And we're like, we have a real family here. Like now it's the EatMoveRest fam, you know? Like we know some of our top commenters, and now hosting retreats, those people have showed up at our retreats. So not only, I mean, they already show up knowing us. They know Max, they know Bo, they know both of us, our backstories, but we get to actually know them too, which is really awesome.
That is awesome.
That is, I mean, we've seen it with the stores and the gyms and the popcorn company, and it's, you know, I've done so much public speaking for so many years, and it was Chad basically like, hey, let's put it on video. I'm like, hey, I don't know how to do that. I tried. It was horrible. And he goes, I'll do it. I'm like, cool. And that was pretty much it. And then the podcast just kind of came out of nowhere because I do so much guest speaking that I was like, well, why not? And, you know, that's my thing. I love people who can. For you guys, it's great because you made a passion a paycheck, and it's in health. So that's it's
what we're doing.
That's the freaking Super Bowl. You know, and so I just had so much fun doing it, and he said, "We'll start putting it on video," and that was like so. Last week, we'd had 3 younger entrepreneurs that were in here. It was a hairdresser, and we had a videographer, and somebody else, and they're all like, "Hey, so like I need an LLC. Like how? I have like this number." I'm like. Do a podcast on it. And I saw that podcast. The thing is, people won't put public comments on YouTube, so I average around 1,000 text messages on Monday by 5 p.m. alone.
Oh my gosh.
I have 27 social media accounts.
I want to change his phone number.
Literally. I average about 3,000 to 4,000 emails a week.
Oh my gosh.
And so I have a full-time assistant that just does help me respond to things. And I forget about LinkedIn because I know notifications. I'm like, oh shit, I got to go in there and do that quick.
Oh my gosh.
And so then, and I want to get back to everybody. That's my thing, is to respond to everybody as much as we can. And people are like, hey, like, and there's so much like, thank you because I just signed up you know, for this or that. The other thing, I'm like, hey, go on YouTube, give it a thumbs up, give me a comment or something, man. I'm trying to grow this thing, and I don't pay for any marketing stuff. I just do it. And, but it's that work. It's work. And I think I see so many people start these different things on social media, whether it be YouTube or Instagram, and with real positive intentions. And they're like, people aren't liking our shit. I'm like, put it up for you. And try to impact one person. If you can change one person's life for the better, it makes everything worth it.
Totally.
I said, then maybe there's 2.
Yep.
And maybe there's not. Maybe there's only one person. I said this since I started doing this stuff. I'm like, if I get one person, if I can be for somebody else what I need at that point, just one person, I'm good.
Yeah, totally.
You know, and I think that people just expect, people are like, yeah, I'm going to grind hard for like 6 months. I'm like,
and then lay back.
That's adorable.
Oh, man.
I go, you've been watching Instagram stories, haven't you?
Dude.
Yeah. You saw that, dude. I go, listen, Mark Zuckerberg is the outlier. Okay. You know, I would love to. I would under promise and over deliver myself. That's what people need to look at. And it's like this. I always tell people do things that feed your soul.
Right.
That's it. I love doing this.
Right.
And like I was saying too, like for the first like several videos, it was just like texting the moms and having them watch it and give it a thumbs up. My mom, like, she finally confessed to me like 4 months in. She's like, I don't even know how to make a YouTube or an account, so I haven't been able to thumbs up or subscribe. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, just like, you know, even hitting that first 1,000, we were just like stoked because the truth of it is you don't need 1 million people watching what you do every day. You need maybe 1,000, maybe even less, just loyal.
Yeah.
Like we were looking for loyalty, not for like fame and fortune, because you want somebody who's so invested that they're going to, you know, take anything that you say and run with it or buy anything that you sell and benefit from it. So...
Well, I think it's when I'm watching you guys' videos, like you guys are real. Like you're not, you know, it's not fake. And that's, I've met a lot of fake people. I sponsor a lot of bodybuilders, okay? A lot of people. I've been pastors across 7 states. And God love them all, but I met you. That's a lot of filtering. Right. You know, I'm like, good for you though. And I think that because you guys are real, I think that's why people who are just real, and you can sense that through people. And I think through video, you can tell a story that, I mean, some people are visual, some are audio, some are wanting to read, and I get that. But I think your video, you can really feel like you have an attachment to somebody because you can see their expressions, and that's where video is so powerful. And I think that's why you guys have grown so well, because you are real.
And I think the biggest thing for us was honestly when we had Max.
Oh yeah.
Because before we were just 20-somethings running around like, hey, we're in Hawaii, check out what we're eating for the day.
Right.
And you know.
People
we kind of even felt it for
kids.
ourselves. Like, people aren't going to listen to us, you know? And then having Max, it's like overnight everything changed. And we got the new moms, the expecting moms, the young families.
Yeah.
And
well, like you said, Tim, it's less about trying to appear super legit and educated and all this stuff. And it's just about talking to one person. Yeah. When you do that, and all of a sudden you have a new child, and it's like, look, as a dad, this is what I have to say. As a mom, this is what I have to say. That's when, like you just said, things really took off.
It creates that sense of community.
And I've realized,
I think everybody wants that sense of community that they can feel like they're a part of. And so...
That's what we got, and that's why we're doing the training for the show again. We did this last time. I was 36 last time I stepped on stage. I won the Los Angeles Classic. And then... let's have a baby.
Yeah.
What? Shit.
Yeah.
I had to know that I was on fertility drugs for a year. I wasn't allowed to work out. I literally lost every ounce of muscle I had. Then they told me to get fatter. I'm like, you are literally destroying me right now.
You're like a movie star, lose gain.
And it was pretty much what it was. And then, you know, but I told and people, it was amazing watching people follow that because I wasn't one of the ones. Jim's healthy day. Like I don't do that stupid shit because I don't know how to. And plus I just don't like it. And people were following like, you know, you're 36 and you've got kids and you have businesses, and so for us to at 40 with 6 kids, I know you're not 40 yet, honey.
She's less than a year.
Less than a year. It's just to prove a point. Like you monkey see, monkey do. Like it really is one of those. Like it's one. It's achievable now. And I think as you guys have kids, if you get a kid, I mean, it does. It's like okay, now they know the struggle.
Right.
It's really hard to.
They are real people.
It's really hard to explain to somebody who doesn't have kids.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, I have a dog. I go, oh my god, it's so cute. Can you leave a dog at home alone when they're one? Yeah, you can't a kid.
No, you bring him to a podcast. Like Max comes everywhere with us. Oh my gosh.
Well, and it's just us. But then it's funny because now we have our kids and they're some are high school and they're watching what we do and they're going to watch what you do a lot more than what you say, especially your kids because they're sick of listening to you. Yeah. So and I think that now I want our kids to be healthy. I want them to make health a priority. I don't want them to be like a lot of people right now who I don't get political at all, but with COVID, like that are more susceptible because you eat like shit. And
Right.
you're 50 pounds overweight and you smoked cigarettes and all crap that we used to do. And growing up with that, I mean, it's one of those things that I know it's going to impact their life, just like you're impacting his. So, so what's the big goal? Like, would you guys have a big goal? I mean, you guys hit 100,000 subscribers is insane, by the way. Like, oh my God, I need to get to work. But I mean, what's the big goal? Like,
we've got ideas in mind.
Too many ideas, which is a good thing.
We don't have like
good
a
problem.
specific roadmap because it just feels like when you're online, when it's just like I'm an influencer, I guess I'll accept the title. Like there's so many different avenues you can go down. It's like affiliate commissions and the YouTube, Google ads, like retreats. Like I said, right now is a big thing. We're trying to get people to still want to travel. So Costa Rica, and we just booked a Bali retreat that we're supposed to get people rounded up for
Sign me
May.
up.
So we want that to continue being part of it, especially if, we do stay in the Midwest for a little bit longer, which we're kind of wondering if we should or if we should move. But at least having those retreats and, doing more and more each year to get out of the Midwest and go to tropical places that lend well to our lifestyle. So I think the retreats are a big component. And then writing a book is on our list, and just ebooks, courses, webinars, lots of stuff that we're kind of...
It's turned all of a sudden, we still both have day jobs.
You all hear that? They still have day jobs.
Right.
Okay.
And we've been doing this like 4 or 5 years, and I'm looking at your thing on the wall, make your passion your paycheck. It's like, I've been doing it for free for 4 years, and all of a sudden this year, things have really exploded. And so our goal is to make it full time, to make it the only thing that we do, so we can do it as best as we possibly can.
And I think that's the beautiful thing about right now in society. I mean, forget election bullshit, forget COVID and all that stuff. It actually put more of an emphasis on having a presence online and having this followership. And so we were ahead of the curve because I've been building my social for 10 years. And so I've got a real dedicated following. And so I said, regardless of what's going on in the economy, there's never been an easier time to actually put your toe in the water for a side hustle. Let's see if it will work. You got to think back to our parents' age. I mean, if you wanted to try it, like you had to do it after the confines of 8 to 5 in a regular day job and try not to bug people at night. And our little device gives you access to people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Especially being in the health and wellness industry right now.
Exactly.
Like everybody's concerned about their immune systems, or at least you hope they are. They should be.
I hope so. Yes. I saw one dude not clean off a machine at our gym this morning. We trained at 6 a.m. I go, oh no.
It was way too. I'm like, oh gosh, here we go.
I'm like, listen here.
Okay, so I saw this hilarious video. I just have to put this out there. It was like this. It was a restaurant. They got this thing that was like this.
Gosh.
It looked like a metal detector that you would walk through, but it was spraying sanitizer on people's entire bodies as they walked through into the restaurant.
Healthy. Breathe that in on your way. It's like, oh my gosh.
But I think that it's right now people are paying attention to their health, and I think it's a great time to because the simple fact is, like Chad and I were just discussing earlier, like nobody knows what's going to happen the next 6 months.
No.
Simple fact is, herd immunity takes a minute. Is there a vaccine? Is there not? We don't know. I'm like, how about you work on actually preventing and strengthening your immune system? Pay attention to your damn body. You only get one. Treat it like a temple. Take care of it. You don't get to, if you cut your finger off, it's gone. You don't get to just, there's no do-overs. Just be careful what you take care of yourself. That's just the way we've done it. And it's, finding foods that work for you and finding things that work well with your body. And I love it because I had to do a symposium on a keto diet, and keto works very well for me.
Not for me.
Not for her. So I knew I had to give a speech at the Health Expo. There's about 10,000 people, and he always gives me these controversial topics because he thinks I'm big and nobody's gonna mess with me. And I'm like, okay, how many doctors are here to bust my speech? And that's cool. I'm super nice. 7 of them. I'm like, okay, glad you're here. Here's 8 rounds of blood work, CBC of differential. Here's urinalysis test, everything. I even had a 40-year keto guy, but a 40-year-old, 40 years. He was like 60-some years old. Give me his blood work and triglyceride panels, LDD lipid panels, everything. And I'm like, any questions? All right, we're gonna start. and I was just proving a point. Like there's different. And they go, what's the rate denominator? I go, people are different. I said, there's certain things don't work for me. Like I literally eat probably over 1,000 or 1,200 less calories a day than she does.
Really? Interesting.
My natural IGF-1 response rate is about 400% higher than national average, which allows me to put on muscle extremely easy. But anything more than 100 grams of carbs, and I will gain weight.
Yeah.
And we're the total opposite. We're literally about 80% carbs.
Oh yeah. But again, it's like you said, everybody's different, and I totally believe that.
It is, and I just have thyroid with the thyroid and those things, and the fats stabilize my hormone levels, and it works very, very well for me. And so, of course, our family was concerned. I'm like, run everything on me you want. I'm like, I'm cool because I want to know.
Yeah.
I didn't want to find out 10 years or 20 years, and so I found the world's foremost authority on keto.
Right.
Became very good friends with them.
Yeah.
He had been on for 15, 16 years, and he goes, well, I go, no. It's not like you got to fight. Food works. I go. So I try to avoid all processed products as humanly possible. I try to avoid all hormones, organic, like vegetable. I'm older I get. I think I'm getting shit from Bill through osmosis. Because all of a sudden I start reacting to weird shit. I'm like, I can't even have pizza anymore. Like, good God, you know. And
that's me. I've got everything. I get all
Erin,
the symptoms.
totally.
Well, I'm looking up things on WebMD. I'm like, she's what's wrong? I go, well, either I'm dying or I'm pregnant.
Or you're pregnant.
It's
I'm not
always
sure
totally.
it's which one it is, but well, then that's that's the thing. But that's what the signs are for. The passion, your paycheck. I mean, because it's literally when you're able to make a living doing something that you love that never seems like work. Yeah. You have hit the jackpot. Right. People put a materialistic point of view on what success is. Yeah. This kind of house, this kind of car. Yeah. I mean, I tell her, I've said on this podcast, that's indentured servitude. That is slavery today. They keep you locked down to meet up to this standard. If you're able to feed your soul and feed your family on the same thing, that is success. Totally. And like one of my employees give me crap like, I don't feel like I ever take time off because all you do is work. I go, oh shit, I like this.
Yeah.
I'm not
that's
actually.
How we feel too.
I choose to do this. I mean, the extra podcasts, the extra videos, and the pilots, and all the stuff we do. Like, I mean, I throw a little bit too much in a week at a time. But I enjoy the hell. I wouldn't do it if I didn't. I don't have to. Like, I make no money doing this. I mean, I make money doing monetized $1.16. Yeah. I spend a hell of a lot more than that, but because I enjoy it.
Totally. Right. And then going back to like when you asked what our big picture is, or do we have a plan? I don't really think that we do, because we're just excited about what we're doing. Yeah. So it's like you wake up every morning and like, what am I most excited to do today? Yeah. And how can I put that out there? Who can I help? How can I make it valuable to somebody else? Totally. And
it's different for everybody. And it's easy. I mean, Tim, we've looked up to you for years because you, again, in a family full of doctors, you're killing it in your absolute own very unique way.
Thank you.
And so Erin and I have looked back and looked at you for years to say, what's our thing? Yeah. Because it's really easy for people to want to copy that person that they see and be like, well, I'm going to open gyms. I'm going to open stores. I'm going to start a YouTube. I'm going to do this and that because this person's killing it. It might not be your thing. Yeah. And so for us, we're not even sure what the future holds, because we're doing something completely different than we thought we would be.
So we're going to keep doing whatever it is. But
it could evolve and change. And so it's like, we have a big picture plan, but we're also open to it changing immensely because it already has.
I think that there's a couple kind of people that maybe have trouble even succeeding in this arena because they're either, like you said, trying to replicate what somebody else is already doing and it's not exactly fitting what would work best for them. And there's other people that are so like just struggling with analysis paralysis because they're like, well, if they're going to start a podcast, they got to make sure they have the right mic, like all the gear basically. Or if they're going to run a marathon, they got to have the right watch, the right running shoes, all that. And it's just like, it's paralyzing them from even getting outside and going for a walk.
Just put one foot in front of the other. I can't remember what we were talking about.
It's just like that the other day.
It's just one step. It's just one step.
We're not web designers, but we both got on Squarespace because it's like the easiest platform, super user friendly.
Oh, and Entrepreneurship 101. I was my web designer. I was my shipping department. I did all of it. I'm like GoDaddy website tonight. Drag and drop. Let's do this.
Now we're halfway considering like pitching ourselves as a photo video duo because we've self-taught ourselves so much about videography, photography, different types of cameras, how to use them. Like we could go out on the weekend and make a killing shooting a wedding if we wanted to.
Oh, sure you can.
Or even doing like consulting work. We've had people ask us not how to eat and how to exercise and live their lives, but how do you start a podcast? How do you start a YouTube? How do you shoot video?
So
and we're like,
you get just as many questions that are how do you go plant-based as we do how do you start a YouTube channel?
Yeah, well, and that's just it. I mean, that's what we get a lot. We get so many hundreds of questions in, and that's a lot. I think we just did a queue. We've done more than 2 or 3 podcasts. We're like, okay, questions are piled up. We're just going to go through these and say, I found 20 I like. And we're like, ooh, this is good. We did that one ask us a question on Instagram. I was 200 deep. And I turned it off. I just screenshot it and turned it off my phone. phone because it's driving me nuts.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, we're going to go with these 200 and just figure it out. But I think people are curious and they want to, if they have that relation to you, they feel comfortable asking. I think that's huge.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, like for us, we do the podcast and the motivation and businesses because I've seen some out there.
Yeah.
I just didn't relate to the guy.
Right.
You know, one dude was all about his 25 cars and the $1 million sitting in the garage. I'm like, yeah, I have 6 kids.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even buy nice shit, even if I wanted to, because they'll destroy it.
Right.
I mean, what's the point? Our couches in our house are literally from Menards on 11% rebate because I have 6 kids and 3 dogs.
Right. Yeah.
Even if I know.
Yeah.
But it's just, and I think people relate to that. You know, I'm a big Gary Vee fan. Everything, I will meet him. But, you know, he just uses just to be him on a solo act. That's cool. But I think that's why a lot of you guys are on because the whole power couple thing.
Yeah.
You know, husband and wife, people doing stuff together.
Yeah.
You know, teams. It's team. Like you know, like I always tell our staff, it takes a village.
Yeah.
Like we're here to pick each other up. That's the whole thing. And ever since she started going on every episode, my views went up.
Yeah.
So
No, I don't talk very much.
I tell Dusty that
we had
too.
an argument about this last night, and I'm like, well, if it wasn't for me, the videos wouldn't be edited. And she's like, well, if it wasn't for me, nobody'd be watching them. And it's like, okay, you're right. It's a team.
I just shared
very
it.
true. Absolutely.
And on that note too, we just posted my vegan body transformation story, and I showed, you know, being overweight in college, underweight when I got super meticulous with everything, and then finding this healthy weight after having a baby. And all of a sudden, people are saying, I didn't take you seriously, but now that I know your story and that you've struggled too, like clicking that coaching button a lot more often. I'm getting a lot more coaching clients because people take it. You know, they're like, hey, you've struggled too, and that resonates with me.
Well, that
was
was with your individual
They're like, I thought you
story.
always had it figured out.
Well, we had put a snippet out. She was in a pod. It was at the end of an hour and 15-minute long podcast, and so people don't get to the end. I get it. I listen to mine in my car, or whatever one I'm listening to when it's done. Sometimes I go back to it. Sometimes I don't.
Right.
But she had talked about, you know, she was teen mom, then a recovering drug addict, and put herself through school and all, and told her whole story. And the amount of people that called in, I have people just in tears, bawling, staff who'd never even heard the story. They were like, well, we weren't hiding it by any means. I mean, I was homeless when I was 19. Sleeping in my car. And, you know, we would have been a pair.
We would have.
It would have been real hot. It would have been real great. But, you know, and I think people, it's just the realness of it, and, you know, that we are authentic. And I think we had talked about people who are struggling to either imitate somebody else. Is a lot of times it's what's your motivation.
Right.
If you're only doing it for monetary gain, people will read that.
Oh,
you know, and I've seen influencers do that, and I've seen people ask, I can't see. I go, you're doing it all for cash.
Totally.
People know when you're full of shit.
Right. They have
If
an
they don't
OnlyFans
know, if you're
page.
really good at faking it, you eventually will catch up to you. We've seen that happen with fitness coaches and their diet plans that they have no idea what they're doing. And I'm like, you know, don't do that. Like I yell at, if I see people doing it in my gym, they get kicked out. If you don't know what you're doing, you could screw somebody up. You know, and I'm like, and I go, then what's going to happen is for all of us that are in the health industry that make this our passion,
we all lose credibility.
It's going to take 10 years for us to get them back.
Totally.
And I've seen it here in town now. I mean, my major competitors 10 years ago are all bankrupt. Complete Nutrition, they're $500 million, and GNC's a $7 billion company that's now worth $600 that just filed bankruptcy. Vitamin Shop, and we're the last one left. We're opening 4 more.
Wow.
And because we've stuck to our principles, nutrition shouldn't break the bank. Everything is certified. Everything's lab tested. Almost everything that's humanly possible is made in the United States. Where I know, and it's FDA registered GMP facilities. That's what we've done, and we're cheaper than Amazon. Because listen, I have 6 kids. I ball on a budget. I get it. So, and we're just going to stick to these core principles. But so many people are finally coming back in from 10 years ago. Last time my nutrition store was 2010, and I bought a $400 weight loss kit from Complete. And it did. I go, why the hell? What? But it took them 10 years. I had a lady in this morning. I had to run the shop this morning. Business 101. Somebody called in sick. It's me. That's why I came straight from the gym to the store to here. So that's why I look like this.
You look so handsome.
Fantastic. I woke up like this, flawless. Me and Beyonce. So thank you.
That was
epic.
good.
That was good. Oh man.
We have our own high five.
Such dorks.
We are. But it's one of those.
The fact that we timed that perfectly. That was
she used to have this stupid thing in her car. It was Beyonce. Flawless. And I'm like, so I woke up like this every day. Just this awesomeness. It's like you're lucky. I'm like the captain of the ADD convention. She used to live with me. But you know, they've been 10 years since they came in. Or somebody had a diet coach finally comes to our gym. They totally screwed up their body, know what they were doing. They were doing it for money because they were young and pretty and thought they could make money on it. And like people do something that is real, that you're passionate about. It's not just for monetary. Money comes, yes, absolutely, and we get offers all the damn time. And I'm like, I just didn't. I go, if I don't feel like I can make good money at it and help a lot of people at the same time, then it's a no. I won't just. I mean, I won't ever do it just for money. I'll do shit just to help people, but I'll never do something where it's just money. Here, that's. I mean, the gym originally, the first gym was just meant to be a little spot for us to goof around in. She got sick of. Well, I can say this on our podcast. Douchebags hitting her in the gym. Hey, little lady, you should lift like that. I'm like, oh my God, you creep. You know. And then I couldn't. I got kicked out at one of the gyms here for posing in the posting room at 9:00 at night when no one was around. Because I was considered intimidating to other guests. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and then I got kicked out of like 2 gyms here for that. I'm like, I'm old. That's so stupid. And I'm just trying to do posing. I'm in a room. Like you can't even see in this damn thing. And so we got back, and all of a sudden it's capacity. So we expanded with the second one, capacity, tripled to the first one. Now we're building our own building. Like we're doing it, and we're like, it's cool if we make money on it. We wanted to make money eventually, but we knew it was going to be like, we figured a decade, and we were year 3, but it's one of those that if you have the right intentions, I think that things will expand, and who knows where it goes. I mean, for you guys, will have a lot of opportunities, especially when you start hitting more and more views. And affiliate programs, designing your own stuff. I mean, that's. Like for us, vegan stuff is new to me. I'm not gonna lie, but we've put a massive amount into trying to expand the selections in the stores. And now my popcorn sellers want me to use vegan protein instead. I'm like, done. So now, but I don't like a lot of the brands that are out. So, we are going to make our own. So we're dealing with the chemists, and we're dealing with the lab. Like, what's the facility it's made in? Where's it coming from? I need test. Because if I'm going to put my name on it, I got to know. The thing is, 10 years ago, we couldn't afford to do that. And now we're like, okay, if we're going to do it. The second biggest lab in the country is here in Omaha, Nebraska. So, we get tests done pretty easy. It's up the street, actually. It's about 10 blocks.
That's awesome.
Well, it's just to make sure it is what it is. I mean, I think it was a study done that nutrition companies, it was Target, Walgreens, Walmart, GNC, Rite Aid in the state of New York had to pull every single bottle off every single shelf in the entire state.
Oh my gosh.
4 to 5 products didn't just meet label claims. They had 0% of the product in there at all. Everything was made in China, almost all of it, which has a different regulation. You got to understand the chemistry. So if you're testing a protein powder, vegan or otherwise, they use nitrogen to test it. Well, China uses plastic made of nitrogen, so it soaks into it. So when they test it, it pops off. There's nothing in it. There's a self-help guru. Call him Boney Bobbins, big tall lurky man. Who owns a company that rhymes with Lin Lab. Whose protein powder didn't have any protein. It was pure cake batter. It was pure carbs. So diabetics are taking this shit and spiking their blood glucose out of control. It's pretty good though. I'm like, that was off the top, right? and he had no idea. It wasn't him. He had no idea. They're just subcontracting the thing. So for us, I'm like, where's it made? Who's shipping it? Who's mixing it? What temperature? I want to know because if I'm putting it in my body, I want to know what it's going to do to me. If I'm going to do this, and that's the thing with the supplement stores. Why none of my guys get paid commission? I'm like, we're here to supplement areas of your life you need help with. Period. No commission.
I mean, going back to Amazon too, you don't know what's in any of the stuff that you're getting off the internet.
No, you don't have a clue. You don't know where it was made.
We get lots of questions about superfoods and different powders and stuff, and it's like it's a really risky game.
But that's why you're successful. Is because you care about people, and even us. You know how many people message us and set up meetings with us to say, "You guys should be millionaires by now," and we're like, "We will. I'm sure we will be." But you know what? We care right now. We're just making stuff that we believe in, and we can pay our bills. And I don't want to sell out. I don't want to just do this for money. I want to test what I can test and make sure things are done right. And that's why you guys are successful.
Well, that's it. That's why I told you guys about Seth Rossi, and they're like, "What's his deal?" I'm like, "Oh, there's no act there. That's him. He is that nuts, and he's fantastic. But what a great guy! And we just built a company. You can tell when somebody's real in the industry right now." The day of the influencer is really coming to an end in the fact that people are, it's the thing about the internet, it's 24 hours, it's 24/7, it's 365, and there's a lot of cancel culture in society too. They're going to dig back. They're going to find you're full of shit. So the people who are authentic, who are real, who aren't filtered, they're going to rise to the top. And I think that's that where you just meet people like that. Where like you were overnight, all of a sudden, like 4 years ago, nobody heard of them. All of a sudden, boom! It's like because it really is real. Like and just that camaraderie people can feel and set up, and that's where we're hoping we can get back to public events, and we have entrepreneurship conferences where people will come in and do a panel of top CEOs, and I know throughout the U.S. where people can come Q&A and create relationships and get back. Like I had 5 or 6 high school and university speeches set up on entrepreneurship, and they all got canceled obviously, which sucks. So I'm getting cabin fever super bad.
Yes.
Like it's, and I'm glad you guys are in person. We had to Zoom a couple podcasts, which I'm dealing with at times, but it's not the same.
It's never.
You can't play off the emotions as well on Zoom.
No,
but
I think every time the camera would span to me when we were Zoom, I'm like,
I'm
like just stuck. Trying to focus on the screen so I can
deer in the headlights. I know we filmed a couple and
the whole time I'm like trying to fix my hair and the Zoom thing.
And it's lagging and oh man. And one of them was with somebody. So there's this new show on Netflix
with Zac Efron.
We're
very good friends with Darren O'Lee.
We know Darren. We've been to his house in Malibu. We've hung out with him a few times, and we didn't know that we knew he had a show. He had told us a couple of years ago, but we didn't know when. We've just filmed YouTube with him, but it was through Zoom. And it's the worst quality. And I'm like,
Wi-Fi cutting out. Because his house burned down in the California fires, so he's living in a yurt on his property.
Right.
Spotty Wi-Fi. And
so I'm like, this is going to be huge.
I'm like, show let's drops. Just sit on this and wait till we release it until a little bit more people know about this show and he gets a little bit more traction.
And then we're looking at the footage and I'm like, I can't put this out there, but I don't know. The Zoom's definitely causing issues.
It's because I had one. I was a guest on somebody else's, and so I was zooming in here on a Saturday morning. These guys have been doing this podcast for like 6 years, had me on. I'm like, okay, I'm set up. I'm like, oh fuck, internet's out. Son of a. So I'm in the other office throwing wires. I'm texting them. I'm like, sorry, dude. You're like no, and it went out. They're like, we'll blend it. I'm like, okay, cool. Because we don't really like. Chad will do a little bit of editing, but we really don't do a lot. We don't have to. I mean, he runs a couple other podcasts out here too, and I'm not like. Listen, whatever I say, I pretty much it just comes. I don't rehearse anything. I haven't rehearsed a single speech.
She's like, do we need a program? Like, Tim doesn't really.
I don't do that.
We're relieved because otherwise I'm like, I'm going to be rehearsing something in my head that's going to sound really stupid when it comes out.
We're the same way. People are like, how do you guys shoot and film? And we're like, honestly, we just go for it. And half the shit gets cut out. And we do have to edit a lot, putting in food clips and all that. It's different, but it's so much easier if you can just be yourself and do your thing.
Oh, it is, and I think people buy into the realness of that's where the whole idea for the pilot for the welcome to the shit show. Yes, we're going to be doing a pilot for a reality show called Welcome to the Shit Show, which follows us and our kids and our 3 businesses and how we haven't killed anyone.
That's gonna be great.
I mean, we can't keep flowers alive, but we can keep our kids alive. That's our big thing to flame, right? At this point, so we keep.
Well, that's important.
Yeah, that's really.
I mean, plants alive.
Maybe sort of.
Good.
2.
Yeah,
that's
three.
That's good.
But I think
3 in the back are kept alive by the sprinkler system.
Because they're getting watered.
I like succulents because you water them like once
a month.
Yeah, and they're fine.
Yep.
We've been home more because I can't travel my out-of-state stores, so I've gotten a lot done on
the
her.
honey-do list is
nice.
3 year long list. It's I'm
3
done.
years later, I finally talked him into painting our white house or our brick house white.
Oh, nice.
Now we have white brick.
Lights on our canopy lights, steps, columns, everything. Put a pool in the backyard for the kids and her. And I used it twice. But it's I looked at anything as an opportunity to further myself. Now being stuck at home, and we've been getting cabin fever lately, real bad. Like it sucks. We want to travel. We like to travel. It's Omaha Central. I can go anywhere from here. And I go, it's got its points, but it's an opportunity to finally get some shit done at my house that I usually don't get to. I've spent more time with my kids than I probably ever have. It's been fun. Like, and we're like home. Like, okay, well. You really can't be nutrition store gym owners and come out of COVID fatter than we went in. So it's prep time, babe. Let's do this. And we got to
if I eat too much of the nice cream.
Oh yeah.
Or acai bowls.
Right. That's been a game changer for so many people. Like, we found you because of the nice cream and we're like, whatever. That's
Zoe, she's been on an acai bowl kick for a while now.
Yeah.
I come home and there's blender I'm like, at least clean up after yourselves.
Yeah. I think it's a testament, you guys. I mean, we've said a lot of times why I've done this for a lot of people from here is to prove that even from the Midwest, I mean, a lot of people are East Coast, West Coast, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. I've been on the West Coast. I've been down in San Diego for a while. I love Texas. So if my kids weren't, I've been going to Texas. But, and that's cool. But I think it shows that people from right here can do very, very big things. Sure. And people don't realize how big the health industry is from here. Do you guys realize the number one GNC franchisee ever is from Elkhorn, Nebraska? Really? The guy who founded Complete Nutrition, both of them were from Omaha, and they were in 20-some states. Yeah. And then you got me. Well, I'm not saying I'm that big, but I'm here. I'm here. But you had, we had Kyle Loftus in here, started 1320 Video, which is international, millions upon millions. It's right here from Omaha, Nebraska.
There's so much comes out of Omaha.
There is. And the thing is, I just want to, a lot of people, a lot of the high school kids I've spoken to, and even the universities here that follow this podcast, that follow what we do, to prove that you can do a lot of stuff from here.
For sure.
That as long as you're passionate about it and you believe in it and you want to help other people, and you guys are a testament to that. What you guys have done is fantastic. I can't wait to see what the next 5 years brings. You guys.
I think it's definitely empowering when people find out that we're from the Midwest, because we get that question a lot. Where are you guys from? Are you in California? Yeah. Because we'll be sitting out.
We got palms in our backyard, and I'm getting all landscape.
Palms and pineapples on the countertop, and people are like, "Oh, I just figured you guys live somewhere tropical." And we're like, "Nope, Nebraska."
Yeah. I love
But then they're always like pleasantly surprised and relieved, because they're like, "Oh, thank goodness, they're not just like every other influencer out there that lives on the West Coast, this perfect lifestyle." And they're like, well, if they can do it right there in the Midwest and have access to the foods that they want to eat to nourish their bodies, like, I can do it too. There's no excuse.
Right. Well, exactly. And that's just it. And I know that even Omaha and Lincoln, like at one point in time, like this area, the big metro was considered, this about 10 years ago, was one of the more healthy cities.
Right.
And that whole, over in Nebraska, we hibernate, that kind of crap. Like,
everything.
And that's just it. And we hibernate, we eat way too much red meat, whatever it would be. Yeah. I'm like, that sucks. I'm sorry. But like, people realize that Omaha actually has more bodybuilding shows than pretty much any other Midwest city.
Really?
We have a humongous competitive bodybuilding, CrossFit, powerlifting crowd here. So I would say we have as many shows. It's pretty damn close. We have more in Chicago.
Wow.
Yeah, there is a massively health community here. But people, sensationalize. No, look at the people who are just bad. But I think there's a lot of movement here, and I think people realize that there's more people around that they have in common with, like you guys. Yeah. That it gives them motivation to keep going, to try, to take a step. Just takes one first day. Like you guys know that.
Even the people, like, not just in the U.S. or Midwest. I hear from people in Scandinavia and Ireland that are like, I literally actually live in the desert, like a food desert. I can't get any of this, that. I barely have internet. And they're like, but Instagram is giving me, and your channel is motivating me to just start something.
Yeah.
And
it's cool. It's just
something
fun.
That like silenced me in the beginning was like this constant beating myself up for not having my degree in medicine. When I went to college for biology with the intention of going pre-med, I hadn't really thought it through in my mind. It was just like, that's what everybody does in the family. That's what I'll do too. And towards the end of college, I'm like, oh my gosh, this isn't for me. Like, freaking out. But I'm like, that isn't what legitimizes you.
No.
It's living in the Midwest, having a kid, going through body weight, image issues, struggling with forms of dis-ease, that's what legitimizes you, especially on social media. People don't want to be sold a line from a doctor or from an advertiser. They want to know from whoever they're watching on YouTube that it's like the girl next door, the guy next door. So
somebody who can relate to their experiences. I mean, I can't tell you how many times somebody's been like, oh, here, do this, or this is what's wrong. And I'm like, well, have you ever had these? Like, how can you tell me just because you read it in a book? Like, I don't buy that.
Well, I think we're in a reactionary medicine society, and I'm a pro-action person. I mean, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Right.
So I don't want to worry about what pills I have to take after I ate a bunch of nasty shit. Right. How about I just eat good now and not worry about that? I mean, it just really is. We're in a reactionary medicine
society.
It's the
cure for everything.
Yeah.
If we could just all figure that out.
Oh, exactly. And that's just it. We're in a post-reactionary society. Take this pill to fix this thing you did stupid. But you take this pill for the side effect of that pill. I'm like, how about I just don't do this in the first place? And I can avoid all this crap. And I didn't want to have a life full of medicine for the rest of my life. And like, I get it. That's why I found out originally I had my degree in chemistry was because I was going pre-med.
Yeah.
I did not get the family gift.
Yeah.
No, I was good. The chemistry was great. I loved the math. I loved it. Loved it. It's blood.
Yeah. No, dude, I cut my finger so bad the other day. I almost passed out, and I'm like, you're going to have to help me. I called Erin's dad at like 11:30 when it happened. I'm like, you're going to have to stitch me up. I can't even look at this. But he wouldn't. So anyway, go
Now
ahead.
looking back, though,
Blood is
no, I can't. Like I'm like I don't like blood.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, okay, I'm like, say you're dissecting a frog, right? You look at the book,
Yeah.
and everything's color coded.
Yeah.
Sweet, and you go inside, it's all brown.
Yeah.
That's not in the book. This is bullshit, And I mean, shit, I went from pre-med and history major to pre-law. I went to one trimester law school. I'm like, that. That's no, I'm good. I'm like, I'm gonna sell shit. And I remember somebody, I'm gonna mention somebody in our family was like, well, doctor's very successful. And I go, who those doctors work for?
Yeah.
Businessmen.
Totally.
And they're like, "What? I'm saying you'll work for me someday."
Yeah.
And that's for me. Like, the thing is, for us, we've been able to make our passion our paycheck, and we're at the point now where we're able to, project it upon several businesses and create multiple revenue streams, and that allows me to free up other things I want to do in the future. Like, I work 80 hours a week, but I like it. But I want a career in politics at some point in time once my kids are older, and this allows me the flexibility to go do that. But as you guys said, for the first couple of years, it's just a lot of grinding, a lot of trying. I think I want the kids listening to this to understand, like, hey, you just got to take a first step and try.
For sure.
And don't expect, like, I'm going to get 100 likes. You ain't going to get 4.
It's just consistency and persistence. You literally have to, like, think of a horse with its blinders on so it doesn't get distracted. Yeah. And you can't put something out there and just twiddle your thumbs and wait to see what kind of reaction you get, because if it's not the reaction you want, it's just going to stop you up. You just have to, like, put it out there, put your head down, keep working, and not worry about, like, there's always going to be trolls on social media.
Always.
Especially YouTube. But it's just like...
It's like I went into sales right out of college, and one thing I'll never forget that the dude that hired me that I loved, he said, you got to be a duck on water. He's like, and people do, they look at our lives and they're like, you guys are so chill, you just have it. Do you even work? Do you even do this? And I'm like, okay, between you're at the clinic and we have weddings out there and Airbnbs booked like almost every day and editing and shooting, and I'm like, it's total duck on water.
Yeah.
You might look like things are all calm and collected, and under the water you're just going like hell. Mm-hmm. Like you said, 80 hours a week. Yeah, like I'm editing video till midnight, and Max is sleeping right there next to us, and it's like, wow, we feel so bad, and it's just whatever. It's just but we love it.
Well, yeah, you love it. And the thing is, and nobody's ever really achieved anything in life without having to work off their freaking face. Right. It just is what it is. Like it's it can be fun. Yeah. It can be your passion. Yeah. But trust me, if you don't like it, you're just doing it for money. Yeah. After even a few weeks, it gets rolled. Talk about 5 years. Yeah. That's a whole different ballgame. Like, I think I worked every single Saturday and Sunday for about 5 years. I worked 7 days a week. Yeah. It wasn't until we got together and she's like, "Hey, think about taking a day off?" I'm like, I worked half the day. Yeah. Like, and to take time off for vacations. Yeah. This is where our family came in. They're like, "Okay, you can't keep going at this pace." I'm like, "Yeah, I can. Yeah, let's go." They're like, "No, you need to take little like mini vacations." I go 3 days. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. They go, "Why?" I go, "Because any longer than that, my work, nobody does my job. Right. My job just sits waiting for me." Right. Yeah. And so I've come to negotiations that will do many little vacations, little 3 day, 4 day stints is max. Right. The idea of being away for a week. Yeah. No. Yeah. No, that's I've been realizing that too. It is, but you need to take more time. Yeah. Right now it sucks. Yeah. Because you can't go anywhere. Right. Like we were trying to go to Padre to wear a mask on a beach. Yeah. Yeah. I'm good. Brittany said before. I'm good. No. I remember
so stupid. We don't even need to get. We probably shouldn't even get started on that whole thing.
Nope. All I will say is like if you're not eating clean, going through Chick-fil-A with your mask on. Yeah. That's not a good idea. There's not. It's. Yeah. Those aren't parallel. They're like this.
Well, I mean, you can look at it, and we won't get to it, but you can look at it. Okay, if 50% of the world's cases are coming from 5% of the world's population in the richest country in the world with the best water system, the best sewage systems, the most clean properties humanly possible, this ain't poor here, folks. No. We built houses on a mission trip in Puerto Penasco. That's poor. Right. Yeah. This isn't poor, and is it partially probably political and money? You bet. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's part of it because we have more preservatives and more bullshit in our food than every other country. It's not even legal in other countries, might be affecting our health and our immune systems. Mm-hmm. Please, I mean, it's not all one or the other. It's probably both. Right. I mean, it's one of those, and I figure like every person thinks they're 100% right. You should figure it's right down there in the gray line. Totally. Mm-hmm. It's probably inflated, sure, but a lot of it's just we are unhealthy as a nation because we don't look what's in our food. No. Mm-hmm. And I think that right now, maybe you guys are going to blow up even more just because people are going to be looking for a better, healthier way, being like, well, screw this, because there's not going to be a cure, folks. Yeah.
And a vaccine. geez, talk about side effects.
They don't even know yet. They don't even know yet. They have no idea. 5 people died from the vaccine trials already.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, do I want one? Sure, I want a cure. Who doesn't?
Sure.
I want to go back to work, man. I want to go. I want to go to a Nebraska game, with an overpriced hot dog.
Yeah.
And sit in the stands with 95,000 other people, sweat all over the place, and watch the Skurs maybe win a game.
Yeah.
But at the same point, like, it's not going to. You take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Like, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So tell everyone again how to find you guys. So, like, what avenues, social media, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we're on websites, EatMoveRest.com, YouTube.com.
Just remember, it's the 3 things you all do every day.
Yeah.
We could all be doing better. Eat, move, rest.
Yeah.
Love it.
Good to meet your client.
And we're on Instagram
Yeah.
at Erin Stanczyk and I'm at DB Stanczyk.
And if you can't spell our last names, we also have the Eat, Move, Rest account on Instagram too.
Right, we do,
So you can go there first and then find us from there.
You
That's
for
the
sure
easiest
can't.
way.
I'm not even going to spell it. I'll probably misspell it if I try to. Yeah, we need to buy a vowel for sure.
But sometimes Y, so I guess it kind of counts as a vowel.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I think you're an inspiration to everyone around you, and I just think it's fantastic. It's so great to have family on too, which is just awesome. And I hope you guys nothing but the absolute best success. Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys.
The story is, you are you, and I am me. Just be. I'm a gentleman, now I'm settled in. Even when they said don't let him in, I said guess again. What's the way I walk into a room and everybody stare? Godfather like presence, everybody know I'm here. Stepping right into my office, pouring bourbon on the rocks. Toast to the homies that could never see the light, and the haters that forever see my ghost. What a night.